Okay, sorry about that. It's 7:03. So I'm running a little late here today, but 7:03 on Tuesday, the 27th of September. This is LDR 300, your leadership foundational course. I'm showing you the screen of the Moodle page right now. Let me scroll up to the top. There you go. Um, just so we make sure we're in the same place. Sorry for my uh, casual attire hoodie here. I was doing some physical therapy and it ran a little late today, so I needed to hustle over here to conduct this session with you just to make sure we were all tracking. I don't see anybody dialed in yet. That's okay. This is not a mandatory session. However, it is an opportunity for you to ask me some questions or for me to cover something of your interest or desire. So if next time you can't join us, then at least email in a question and I'll cover it in the Zoom session. Anyways, count this as maybe an office hour. So if something pops up and you decide you want to call in, so to speak, or at least let me know you have an interest, then come on in. Looking outside the window right now, I see a beautiful sunset. It's kind of that golden hour, and got quite the activity going on. So I don't know if probably the animals know that there's a storm brewing. I suspect they do. What's that old saying? Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in morning, sailor take warning. I think is probably true, but I kind of wonder where that first originated. I'm assuming probably originated in the Mediterranean Ocean, or sea, did it not? If that's the case, then the weather patterns are different for us. So maybe it's a red sky at night for us is a bad, but be that as it may, things you kind of wonder. The university has taken a hands-off approach, not a hands-off approach, a wait and see approach on the storm, which makes common sense. Is common sense driven. Remember the Mariners 1-2-3 rule. That is to say, for every 1 day, you can expect a 100-mile shift in a storm track. So if a storm is, for example, 3 days out, then by that third day, you'll see a 300-mile variance in that cone. Presumably, that's the way it's been doing, if that's the way they draw it these days. And when they say computer models show, excuse me, I apologize, I didn't get much sleep last night. The You see just one cone, although it's 13 models, 13 give or take a couple models that go into driving that visual representation. Some models are better than others. There's some models you learn to trust more than others. Some models are designed just to track, one particular item, say, for example, wind speed or something of that nature. So, it all has to come together, and still requires a trained weathercaster look at it, which there are plenty of folks doing. And this day and age with satellite imagery and tracking and use of the Hurricane Hunters aircraft, those crazy guys. Imagine being a pilot and you're paid to fly into a hurricane. That's that's incredible. But all those come together to give us their best estimate of a track, which is remarkable, quite frankly, and what that brings to us. It allows us to make more informed decisions. Is it 100%? No. Is it precise? Well, depends on your definition, probably. Uh, but it certainly allows people to have adequate warning on a major storm, which is what it's all about. Certainly more accurate and warning than a tornado. All right, so I'm showing you the screen. We've covered this before. Excuse me while I wear some glasses here, just to make sure that I'm covering it. You see in the upper right-hand corner, Smart Evals. It's where you do your course evaluation at the end of the course. I would be remiss not covering that. I tell you it's very important. I will tell you that if you scroll all the way down to the icons here, the badges, you'll see in a course survey, you'll see that at the end of the course, I ask you to go to the upper right-hand corner of your Moodle page. Okay. And again, that's what I just showed you here. That's the upper right-hand corner Moodle page. And I assure you the dean reads these. So please take an effort to do the end of course survey. There will be a link and it will tell you some basics. This usually will be more fully filled out and some login instructions. All right. Worst comes to worst, just use that link in the upper right. On the evaluations, your accuracy and candor is greatly appreciated. I assure you that nobody will be injured or harmed or financially or academically rewarded if you do these evals. It is strictly information only. The intrinsic reward that you derive is can't be underestimated. The extrinsic reward is pretty well transferred onto your students coming behind you. Because if you wait until the end of the course to make an evaluation of that course, obviously it's too late for your instructor, in this case me, to make adjustments. So therefore, I'm going to ask you something, and that is, just as you would not want to hear your final grade or any grade in this course, your level of performance, the first time you hear me say your level of performance is at the end of the course after it's over. It's the same thing with your instructor. If in the evaluation you have an issue with how I present or how I seem to do this course or things that you believe I should do, I would appreciate hearing that now up front. And I think if you were in my situation, if you were the instructor, I think you would desire that as well, because you want to hear from your students. You certainly want an opportunity to correct, fix, address any issues that come up. By hearing about it after it's done and over, and now it's just kind of feels like, well, in large measure, you feel like you've been sharp shot. Okay. Again, I go back to how would you feel if you didn't hear from me the entire course, and then at the very end, I say that you were a marginal student, you turned in very shoddy work, and or you were the best student I ever had, and I enjoyed everything that you did. Okay, I think it probably could go on both sides, don't you think? Anyway, just this is a Zoom session that we're covering a course that is running very smooth. I think every one of you is doing a remarkable job, and appreciate your effort in the final analysis. Again, it gets back to on the evaluations, you would rather hear something up front sooner than later. But be that as may, again, don't let that prevent you. Make sure you get these in. Now, most of the questions on the end of course survey relate to the course itself, to your text, to how Moodle runs, whether the syllabus was covered, things like that, which are fairly mechanical. And that, again, demands your attention. I appreciate that. There are some on there that ask you about your instructor. And again, I just ask for your consideration on that. I assure you, again, the dean reads them. And those are normally shared with us, the instructors, if the good reports, and that's fine as well. I mean, if it's an evaluation, if for corrective action, then that's certainly the way it's evaluation overall. Then you should share good and bad. That's getting inside baseball, and that's not for any concern for you. I'm not trying to place that concern on you. I'm just sharing with you some stream of consciousness thoughts. So, issue with the professor, please talk to me sooner. I assure you, I listen. I will correct. I will own it. I do not retaliate. I do not have much of an ego, although my wife and daughter will tell you otherwise. I am fairly humble And I certainly approach this job with humility because it's quite the honor, and I do enjoy it. All right, so we are finished with week 5. A couple of you ran out of time and needed some help over the weekend, which I think we accomplished. I owe you some grades on that, and I will do that as soon as this Zoom session is over. Week 6 begins on Monday. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. You should have the weekly assignment instructions for that. If not, they're right here in Moodle as well. Remember, go to your 6 assignment instructions. I posted these 5 days ago, last Thursday. And this runs through everything you need, minus what chapters to read, but you get that out of your syllabus. In this particular case, chapters 11 and 12. You'll read chapters 13 and 14 for week 7. And then only one chapter, 15, for week 8. So you get a little break on your reading there at the very end. But, of course, that last week you also owe a paper. So I think it probably balances out. All right, week 11, discussion question. Leaders vary in their sensitivity and openness to other cultures. So I draw your attention to Exhibit 11.4, which is Stages of Personal Diversity Awareness. I want you to recall a leader you worked for, with, or served under, and what stage of diversity awareness was that leader. Okay, so you're commenting on somebody else. And what I want you to do is apply that to what you read in the text, and then do some self-reflection on what stage of diversity awareness are you. Okay, so it's a twofold question. Obviously, I want you to talk to me about somebody else for a little bit. Sorry, I was looking again outside as the sun goes down, and then talk to you a little bit. So I'm probably implicitly asking you to do a little bit of a comparison contrast. Anyway, just play with that, see what you think. Okay, I think it's a decent question. Discussion question 2 brings up Lord Acton. You may not remember that particular name, but you've, I'm sure, heard the quote, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely." And that suggests, obviously, that one's morality, sense of morality, lessens as one's power increases. Do you agree? Okay, and then give me 2 reasons. I'm normally a 3x5 guy, letting you off the hook with 2 reasons. And then I do a follow-up question. Is it ethical for leaders to try to increase their power? And again, 2 reasons on why you think it is or is not. Some fun questions. Okay, these are, kind of make you think. This is not scavenger hunt type questions where I just ask you something, you go into the text to find it. I want you to read the text and then apply in your own empirical fashion with some balanced questions. All right. As always, please have that in by Wednesday, no later than 23:59, 1 minute before midnight, Wednesday, and then comment on 2 other posts Friday. Some of you are commenting as soon as you make your posts on Wednesday. It's perfectly legitimate. That's fine. However you want to do it. But I do ask that you get your post in by Wednesday because that gives everybody a chance to read everybody's. And as you have found, I tend to go back in on Thursday and give you an initial review. Okay. All right. Then as we get into the Know Yourself summary reports, you're to do 11.3 on page 425 and 12.3 on page 463. Okay, you'll notice something about these Know Yourself summary reports. I am not technically grading your results. Your results are you. Those are yours. What I am looking for is your explanation of your own words, what they reveal about you, and what impact that is on how you go and lead. Okay, so again, some of you are sharing with me your results in full. That's fine. That's just kind of wasted space. Okay, I've read the exercise. I know and I've done them. I know what they're asking. So I don't technically need you to show me your work, so to speak. But I do want to see is you in this. Now, part of that, you'll see me say, I want you to bring in a little bit more from the text. Okay, so again, part of this is the information and concepts that apply to that exercise that you found in your text. as with any marked requirement, i.e. anything that you're given a grade on here, it's important to demonstrate mastery of the text, okay, mastery of the course objectives. And the way to do that is to bring it into your response and then elaborate in your own words, okay? So some of you are doing a good job giving me your results, elaborate in your own words, but you're not bringing in the text, concept, or principle. And I don't need you to do a lot of your paper on that. Again, I want to read you, but I suggest is if an exercise identifies you as a certain level type of person, then bring the text definition of that into your paper and using what the text says, and then give me your perspective. I think I've explained that. If you're confused, or if I made you more confused, then my apology. It would ask that you contact me. Many of you are doing it. You're doing your assignment. You're bringing in the text, concept, principle, and then you're giving me your view of it. That's why you're getting a high grade. That's how you knock it out of the park, so to speak. Okay, that's due Saturday, and minute before midnight, no later than 23:59. Okay. Sorry, couldn't speak there. Weekly quiz. Everybody is doing much better on these quizzes, which means you're either getting better at it, or I am. And I said week 5, and I think this is week 6, is not. I should have fixed that. Okay. Did I? You know what I was getting at. Week 6. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at week 6 in the Moodle page itself. And go down here to quiz. Well, I did it right in here. Okay, so my assignment instructions, I didn't do it right. But I did do it here. Okay, quiz for week 6 covers the readings you had for week 6. So there shouldn't be any problem with that. And then again, you get 45 minutes, one attempt. You may use your course materials, but do not talk to each other, collaborate with each other taking the quizzes, is what I asked. Have it done before 1500, 3 p.m. on 45 minutes. You're going to need to start your exam, obviously 1444 at the latest, which gives you the 45 minutes up till 1459, a minute before 1500. Okay, so you see what I'm getting at. And then I don't know if any of you are hitting these, but these are PowerPoint presentations for week 6, chapters 11 to 12. These are straight from the publisher. Sometimes I'll insert a slide or two to better explain a principle, a concept, or a model that I think needs to be highlighted. Sometimes many times I will not. So I need to probably get a little better on that. What I used to do was show you the exact slides I used for my seated class. Sorry, I'm glancing over here because my phone is blowing up for some reason. But anyway, so I would give you the same slides I would show my seated class. I tend to enjoy teaching the traditional style in front of students than I do online. Quite frankly, I think it's just a better method, better results, and I think more effectiveness. But I do enjoy this. So if this is my only option, which currently is, certainly with the UMO to teach online, then that's what I'll do. All right. So 5 minutes left. I'm going to let this kind of run. I'm going to stop talking and see if anybody who dials in at the last minute. I will shut it down at 7:30, so I won't quite give you a full 30-minute Zoom session, but I've given you a major portion of it. Again, I want to tell everybody you're doing a fine job. I'm really impressed with those of you in this course who are providing some very unique insights. You're providing your personal stories, which I appreciate, and your fellow students certainly appreciate. Your candor and your insights are stunning, and I encourage you to continue and challenge yourselves and try to expand your boundaries a little bit, like we should for any good leader. Don't treat this as a high school level course where we're just in it to find the right answer and graduate. That's not what this is about. It's about education, your ability to expand your horizons, because quite frankly, you're paying good money for it. This is your time, and so use it to the fullest advantage you can. That includes engaging me if you need to, in any sense. I'm obviously here because my time is your time, and we'll go on from there, and then let's wrap this up. We're certainly focused on Hurricane Ian coming through, obviously by this weekend. So I ask everybody, keep an eye on that weather, make your preparations as you see fit. It's no joke going through these storms, any type, any shape, any form. I can assure you. Been through it myself numerous times, and have suffered some pretty horrific damage to a house one year. That was based on a tornadic activity, voltex, uh, vortex, excuse me, not a voltex. I know where that came from. Vortex, and so you need to be safe. And so prayers, thoughts and prayers go out to those in the path, and those who suffer the effects of the storm. And I certainly hope you plan adequately and prepare, and certainly thrive. Uh, because the storm comes in over the weekend, don't get caught. I would suggest while you got electricity, try to get your work in. The quiz will be open by noon tomorrow. That's already been done. All the information that you need to finish out the week is there in your hands. So please try to get it in. Okay. And if you want to get it all in on Wednesday to include the quiz, then more power to you. I think that's sensible given what we don't know about the storm just yet. Okay. So 7:29, I promised I'd shut up, and I did. So let me be quiet here, and thank you for your time. And let's run this out. Take good care.